Good morning, world.
Good morning.
So, Cedric, I was on Facebook, which I try not to be on too often, but I do like to see pictures. And Gone with the Wind, a post of Gone with the Wind came up. I thought, oh, that's kind of cool. I haven't heard about that in a while. And then I looked at the comments, which I shouldn't have done. And that's what we're going to talk about today.
Okay, looking forward to that.
Comments from Gone with the Wind.
All right. Stay tuned. I'm Cedric.
And I'm Brian, and this is Cedric and Brian. All right, Cedric, so I know I made you leave your little quick vacation, your birthday vacation early. So
Yes, I'm a little tired, but the show must go on.
You came back from the desert, right?
Yes.
Palm Springs,
yes,
California?
We needed a show for today, which is June 17th. And we're filming this on June 7th, 8th? What's today?
Today's the 7th.
Yeah.
Tomorrow's my birthday.
Tomorrow's your birthday. Yes.
Well, when you see this, my birthday's in the past.
Yes.
We're
true.
filming this today.
Yes.
But I saw this picture pop up right here. So you want to explain that?
My girlfriend, she decided to take me to Palm Springs to celebrate my birthday. And I didn't know this. It's not a big deal to me. I didn't really care. But as you guys probably all know, June is Gay Pride Month. And this first week in Palm Springs, which you don't know about Palm Springs,
it's a high
concentration of gay people there.
Yeah.
It was the end of Gay Pride Week. And so when I went there, my girlfriend announced that it was my birthday. And let's just say I didn't buy a single drink after that. Very generous. We sang, we laughed, we talked. They spent all the attention on my girlfriend, which left me free and clear to do whatever I wanted to do. It was great.
Nice, very nice. Yeah, Cedric's had a nice long birthday. We've been celebrating it for a while now.
I'm one of those people that does the birthday month.
Yeah. Well, kind of like Black History Month. He has Cedric
Month. My month coincides with Gay Pride Month, but coincidence.
And my birthday.
And your birthday.
I guess I don't get a month. So anyway, so we're going to talk about Gone with the Wind. So, sometimes we do this show, and sometimes I must get a little naive. Didn't think much of it.
Right.
And all I started seeing was comments, and the first ones that hit me, they were by, they happened to be black Facebook users.
Right. But what were they saying primarily?
They were talking about how this movie should not be shown. It's a terrible movie. I mean, you're black, right?
Yes.
Do you think it should be banned from the...
No, absolutely not. And this can piggyback on what we talked about a few videos ago with Dr. Seuss and the banning of books. No matter how terrible a book is, no matter how terrible a movie is, no matter how terrible a song is, it shouldn't be banned, but should be used as a learning tool to let future generations know, like, okay, this was the behavior back then. And I think you touched on this earlier before we started filming. A lot of people were upset because it's a period piece.
Yeah.
It's talking about, it is depicting what happened back in that day. It's not depicting what's going on in 2021. And it's good to look at it to get a perspective of, hey, what was going on back then in those days?
Well, it was done in 1939, about a time in American history pre-1865. So it was at the end of the Civil War. So it basically starts, if you haven't seen it, starts off basically with the scenes with wounded and dead soldiers at the end of this film. I mean, it was a horrible time in our country's history, not only because of slavery, but how in one country Americans killed Americans at such high numbers.
Right.
I mean, it was... So the movie wasn't about the politics. It wasn't supposed to be about slavery. It was a romantic movie.
Yes.
About two people, and the characters were complex, and the female lead was a young spoiled brat. Mm-hmm. They were both spoiled. They were spoiled. But I mentioned to Cedric, I said, so it was a movie that was taking place. It was done in 1939, where there was still Jim Crow law. So there were still horrible things going on in this country when it had to do with race relations. But then it was about a movie that dealt with slavery was still going on.
Yes.
And there were black actors and actresses in the movie. In fact, the main black actress, I think, won an Academy Award.
She won an Academy Award for her portrayal in that movie.
Now, what's terrible, since it was 1939, she wasn't allowed to go to the theater
to
accept her award. So yes, there was all this bad stuff, but it's 2021. We're talking about a movie done in 1939 that people love, and we're going to turn it into this horrible movie that just depicts people badly. Right. How do you... Okay, did you see Roots?
Yes.
For those of you young
Alex
people,
Haley, yes.
Alex Haley wrote a book, and then in the 70s they did a movie called, or a miniseries, one of the first miniseries I ever saw. It was about one particular slave in particular, his family tree, Kunta Kinte, who, from the time in Africa where he was captured by black Africans, sold to the slave traders, brought to America, and was treated horribly. So he was a black person treated, horribly. It was about slavery. Are we not supposed to show it because it was showed a black person depicted?
No, it's depicting history.
Yeah.
And like I said before, with books, with music, things like that, you look at it and you learn from it. You brought up a good point before we started filming, Schindler's List. Just because you're Jewish, does that mean that Schindler's List shouldn't be shown?
No, it was a great movie, and it was showing how somebody who wasn't Jewish was sticking up for Jewish people at the time.
Right.
But you can't ban history. The problem is, and I know it's said over and over again, if we don't learn history, we're bound to repeat it, or to that effect. Right. It's a good historical movie. Were the actors and actresses treated badly? Possibly. How many times have you heard white actors and actresses treated badly because the studios were so horrible to them? Right. I know that's not the same thing, but you can't now judge a movie. So the reason we brought this up is HBO Max, after George Floyd,
yes,
they banned the movie off of their platform.
Yes, but they've banned some other silly things. You want to talk on that? We have a favorite cartoon character.
Yeah, at the same time they took the gun away from Elmer Fudd.
You cannot hunt wascally wabbits unless you have a gun.
So because of the backlash, if you look here on Rotten Tomatoes, even Rotten Tomatoes gave it a 90 and the public gave it 92 positive. So obviously it's an overwhelmingly positive movie, Gone with the Wind.
Yeah.
So because of that backlash, they decided to bring it back, but...
there's a gal who comes on beforehand, Jacqueline Stewart, and she basically gives a disclaimer saying that we know this is a terrible, awful movie, and so she gives this disclaimer almost apologizing for all the terrible, awful things that you're getting ready to see, and she calls it a benign and benevolent institution in those days.
Well, yeah, she is saying that it depicts slavery as a benign which does it really? It's not. The focus again wasn't on slavery. The focus was basically on this couple. Right.
And the slavery aspect was like a side story to that. Like, this is what was going on during that time.
Yeah, so it's historical. So I told Cedric, I said, so what are we supposed to do? We're going to do a film about the South in the 1800s and take slavery out of it because we don't want to offend anybody?
Right.
How historically accurate would that be?
Right, exactly. There's a lot of movies that are coming out. This may have a correlation, it may not. Gone with the Wind was an incredible movie. There are some other movies that have been made. One that I like, and again, it's not a classic by any stretch of the imagination, so bear with me while I share this. In 1995, there was a great movie. There was a movie that came out called Friday. And for those of you maybe younger, you may have seen it, but it stars Ice Cube and Chris Tucker and about two young African-American men growing up in South Central Los Angeles and depicting their life. And Chris Tucker plays a character named Smokey, who's, apropos his name, can't go 2 hours without smoking weed. There's a character in there named Ezel. He's the neighborhood crackhead who's always looking to steal something or trade something in to get weed. Those movies depict blacks in a very negative light, but yet you don't hear anyone talking about, let's get rid of it. Let's do away with it. It's a great movie. I watch it today, and for those of you who don't know where the term Bye Felicia came from, it came from that movie. But even though it came out in 1995, there are still generations of black kids and white kids and kids of other races who still watch it and get a good laugh from it. Although the movie was based to do comedy, but Gone with the Wind, such a classic, incredible movie, it's a shame to do away with it.
Yeah, and what's even better is have the movie come out and let's have these conversations about, how terrible slavery was, how terrible the Civil War was also, because that's how you have conversations, that's how you don't repeat it.
Right.
You don't get rid of things because they're a little uncomfortable. We talk about WAP. Cardi B. That's number one for how long? Talk about depicting not only somebody who's black, but women in a pretty degrading thing. It's not empowering.
Yeah, where was the feminist movement during that song when it came out?
I know. So we just thought we just wanted to do a quick one while I'm still gone in Nashville.
Yeah, I hope you're having a good time.
I think I probably will be having
I think
a good
you are.
time.
You know that your alcohol cabinet has been broken into while you're gone.
Yeah. But what do you think? What do you think about bringing these old movies back, especially something that's a classic like Gone with the Wind that won? It was probably one of the first epics in Hollywood.
Yes.
We should just watch it and have a conversation? Do we need to have people from CNN? What was her name? Jacqueline Stewart. Do we need somebody out there to give a little intro to it, or you just let it stand on its own? I mean, do they think people are so stupid that they're not going to get the correlation between slavery and the movie?
Right.
That you have to explain it? They spoon feed everything, and they spoon feed it to fit a narrative.
Yeah. Well, hope you guys enjoyed that. Like, so we want to do a quick little video while Brian is gone. But we do have a very cool video comment coming up from someone who purchased a hat.
Yeah, let's watch that right now.
Hey, I just wanted to make a short video of my new hat I received, my Cedric and Brian hat. Got it last night. Real quick story, about 9 p.m. I get a knock at the door, and it was the actual printer who was delivering the hat since he was in the neighborhood. So great service, great hats, and Cedric and Brian, love you guys. Keep up the good work. Love your videos, and looking forward to more. All right.
Awesome. And with that, make sure you get your Cedric and Brian hats with
Use this code
CNB10 for 10% off. It's a good looking hat.
Yeah. Now he sent a comment that this hat didn't match the hat that you usually see me wearing. Okay. So that's the adult size hat. That's the one Cedric has. So that's the army camo.
Brian does have an adult size head.
Anyway, so the one that I have, and do I have it around here? Oh. So he mentioned that that this was a cool looking hat too. This is a youth hat. So it's more of a hunter's style on it. So again, you can ask questions to the printer. But just to let you know, don't get spoiled. The only reason it was hand delivered is because he happened to be in Southern California, the person who bought the hat,
right.
And it happened to be near the person who stitches my hats or stitches our hats for us. So if you're out there in Atlanta or New York, don't expect to be a hand delivered hat.
Yes.
But that was nice. Thank you, Ed, for that video comment. We appreciate it a lot. We really appreciate you watching.
Would have been better if you bought a Cedric and Brian tank top, but hey, one step at a time. Just coordinate everything. Well, again, hope you guys like that. Make sure you make sure you subscribe, ring that bell, and share our videos with everyone you know. Until next time, please be good to each other. I'm Cedric.
I'm Brian. See you later.